Hello there, it is Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Korven by Orchestral Tools. With the witching hour recently upon us, Orchestral Tools joined supernatural forces with folk horror mastermind Mark Korven to bring us the terrifying and rather unsettling Korven. This huge collection of unconventional instruments contain both layered and designed textures to bring that feeling of dread, terror and downright evil to your scoring. Speaking of unconventional instruments, nowhere else will you find Mark Korven's custom-built Apprehension Engine instrument, which is a whole new entity in itself. If you're looking for instant horror scoring tools with a unique, one-of-a-kind sound, you've certainly stumbled upon a dark, eerie treasure trove with Korven. Korven downloads at 20.6 GB SignArt compressed, and it runs in the free version of Sign Player. It's currently on intro sale of €129. In this video we're going to check out the sounds of Korven, and of course I have thrown it into a composition. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of Korven so we can make this video. While we do get the instruments for free, it doesn't in any way influence our thoughts, ideas or judgments. We are just working composers giving you our insights. And of course at this point, if you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. Without further ado, we are going to check out Korven. Here we are, we have Korven from Orchestral Tools loaded up in the free Orchestral Tools Sign Player. Absolutely fantastic. When I saw Orchestral Tools had teamed up with Mark Korven, I was really excited. I recognised Mark's work from the video game Until Dawn. I played that a lot, and movies like The Black Phone, and he does compose for TV as well. He's got this signature style, and it's this folk horror, and a lot of that is based upon the instruments that he uses. And if we look at the infernal instruments, we've got the Apprehension Engine, which Orchestral Tools have done a whole video on this. It is absolutely fascinating, so check it out. And they've got the hurdy-gurdy, the octave harper, piano, symphony, and friction and wind instruments. We're going to start off with dark art designs, and the first one I played was actually a texture called Witch Rocking Chair, so I'm going to remove these. As I've said, this instrument is really big. We're going to start off with some pads and drones, and I pretty much will scratch the surface on this instrument because as we go through you'll see how much content there is. So if I just load up Hazard, and everything is the sound out of the box. The sounds are incredibly complex, and of course I'm using the mod wheel to bring in different layers and different elements to the sound as well. So let's go for Violin Bomber. That low end is incredible. And then we'll check out a texture. So do Verve Smash. Very, very cool. Very cool. Do Duck Drone. So you can hear you have very, very complex arrangements straight away, which is brilliant. Let's look at some pulses. So the Symphony is a gigantic custom-built instrument, and this is a pulse from that. Terrifying. And we'll do a Harper bass grind pulse. Fantastic. Okay, we'll check out some insect and bird stutter. Yes, you heard that right. Insect and birds. I mean, that is unsettling. Absolutely brilliant. We've got some wonderings as well. So, Keybox Nightmare. That is just 2 G notes, and we do the Hurdy Keybox Wandering Subs. It's instant atmosphere. Absolutely brilliant. And then we've got sub drones. So I'm just going to play, I'll do sub bombers. Yeah. It's just, like I say, instant atmosphere, instant cinema, and it sets the scene so well. Now let's go to experimental, and we'll do Mice in Space. I absolutely love how that builds, and it's one of those patches where using the sign player stretching technology, if I play this really low D, you can really experiment with the different layers of sound and different pitches and almost take it out of its sort of recorded zone. Very, very cool. So I love the sign player for that. And there's Dream Chainsaw. Now, I'm only playing 1 or 2 examples from each category, because if I go into the next one, So I'll just close the infernal instruments. The orchestral metamorphosis. We then have these layered instruments. So we've got layered aleatoric. So if I go for cricket gravel, and you can hear the different layers in action there. So if I do sleigh breaks, and of course you can control which element is dominating the sound. So we've got layered aleatoric, and then we've got layered disturbance. Drunk fifers. That's incredible. And this is why I'm just holding one or two notes as well, so you can hear them evolve. Let's just do long textures. I should have said drunken as well. I'm getting 1940s, 1950s horror from there. I did recently watch the original version of The Fly, and it reminded me of that quite a lot. And then we got layered Gurdy Nightmare, so frantic mice. Very frantic. And I'll do single bass drone. Yeah, there's so much going on with each patch. Absolutely brilliant. And I also like how the releases aren't going on forever, so they're very controllable as well. A lot of the time I find myself using automation in Nuendo to control overly long releases, but this is very, very cool. And of course, if you start using reverb, whatever, you can increase the tail as well. And then we've got infernal instruments. So we're going to play just a couple of examples. Yeah, I mean, look at how much there is. So much sound design. So I'm going to start it from the top. Clock spring plucks. I mean, that is just eerie. Love it. Let's do some Ebo hits. These are the springs. Oh, that is awesome. Really is. Let's look at some loops as well. And of course, these are tempo synced as well. So that's friction chant. Let's do jungle insects. So when I say they're tempo synced, I mean there is so much movement in the rhythms as well. It does create that uneasiness. I've got ruler bow. Absolutely brilliant. And let's just do one of the pads, glass ruler. Beautiful. And as you can see, we only have a 25-minute video. There is so much to look at and to play with. So I really recommend checking out the Orchestral Tools official walkthroughs. We've got hurdy-gurdy, sustain and legato. Nearly went a little bit Red Dwarf there. Playing fifths. Very, very cool. And there's a second hurdy-gurdy, so we can hear. A little bit of contrast there. Very, very lovely. And aleatoric trumpets. I was going to do voice one. Yeah, I love it. I really do. Downer. Very cool. And I really want to play one of the glissandi. Brilliant. Okay, and then we got the aleatoric keybox. It's so much fun. And let's go to the octave harper, sustain and legato. Lovely. And you can hear everything is really dry. You got the room sound. And all the detail and the instrument sound, but the sampling is so incredibly clean. Very, very cool. And then we've got some effects. So let's do a drop. Instantly unsettling, a low grind. Yeah. And then we're going to go to the piano. So it's not a piano like like a standard playable piano. These are amazing. I've used this all the way through my composition. So the boomers. And you see that's the boomer menu. So you get an example. Sorry, you can hear each boomer, but if I just play broken one, this becomes pitched. But they sound gorgeous. And in my composition, I doubled them with a playable piano as well. The James Newton Howard piano, which I do love. The Symphony Longs. So of course it's diatonic, and there is a lot of diatonic content in this library. Some rises. Amazing. Absolutely love it. And then I was going to go to friction and wind. So Aztec death whistle. I'll play one more of those. Then we've got the daxophone. I love that low end. And nervous drones. Let's do a nervous cornet. Yep, that was a major triad. It sounds brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And waterphone. Let's do some sustains. And I'll do a large mallet as well. And there we go. That is everything from Korven, but in a very condensed form. So as I said at the start, I'm scratching the surface. But there is so much content going on in this instrument. And of course, you've got the design patches. We've got the orchestral metamorphoses or the layered patches, and then the infernal instruments. So if you want to do your own sound design, I'd probably start at the infernal instruments. However, putting them into a composition as they are is absolutely brilliant as well. And I love, like I say, the dryness. There are 2 mic positions as well for each instrument, which is fantastic. Now, we're going to talk composition. I love Korven. Straight away, I spent hours and hours and hours with it, and I composed using some other Orchestral Tools libraries, and one of them was from Abacus, the Richard Harvey library. I used the toy piano, and I think it's one of the xylophones, maybe not, the music box, sorry, just to see how it fits. Because obviously it could be aleatoric, it could be very diatonic and very, very musical as well. And I wanted to try and show that in my composition. And I just got carried away loading up instrument and instrument and instrument and layering different sounds, and everything just links together beautifully. So everything you hear is all Orchestral Tools. It's 80% Korven with a couple of little embellishment instruments and a couple of little melodies. But my first impression when I started playing with it was, wow, this is incredible. And then having composed with it, I just really, really started to adore the instrument. And yeah, judge it for yourself, but let's go for the composition, and then I'll give you my closing thoughts. Here we go. It is closing thoughts time, and we're talking about Korven from Orchestral Tools. First of all, the composing experience was absolutely incredible. The composition I was really, really pleased with. It is so unconventional, it's different, it's really good fun to explore. Of course, the sampling is amazing. The instrument is so well designed. You've got the organic patches, you've got the sound design patches, everything layers up. When you start combining everything, you just create even more gorgeous textures. It's really, really good fun. And there's a couple of other reasons why I really love this instrument. First of all, it's actually down to the sine player itself. You can stretch out the playable range, so you can create even more mangled sounds by using extreme high and low pitches. It's really, really fun when you're, like say, composing and you're experimenting, because you can stretch quite literally this library a lot further as well. And then of course it is just the sheer diversity of bizarre instruments that have been sampled, and the way it's presented to us. It is a huge library. €129 for a library of this size with this many options is absolutely incredible. If you're a horror scorer, for me, it really is a no-brainer. If you compose for video games, if you compose cinematic music or underscore, again, it's a no-brainer. But it sounds amazing, and it's so much fun to use. And of course, in my composition, I use a couple of other Orchestral Tools libraries. I use the James Newton Howard piano for the really low-end piano sustains. I also use a couple of runs from the Berlin series, but the majority of the composition was Korven. Oh, I also used some of the toys as well from Abacus, and yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff. Do I recommend it? I do. It's really up my street because I write a lot of horror music and this eerie underscore, and I'm going to write a whole album with it. I'm that inspired by this instrument. So yeah, if you compose that kind of music, definitely get it. If you want to expand into horror composing, certainly get it. If you just want a cool library to have a lot of fun with and make some cool music, yes, I said cool twice there, definitely get it. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of Korven so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course drop us a comment. Have you already picked up Korven? It's been out for about a week now. Maybe you could tell us your experiences of it, and generally what have you been using it for. And of course, if you're not done so already, please check out our other videos on YouTube, and finally hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us every time we get a new subscriber notification, and we love seeing our channel grow. Until next time, have a great day and keep making that spooky music.